Hey guys, welcome to this week's Swyftx Squawk with me, Pav, lead market analyst here at Swyftx. And we're going to dive into why this week might be one of the biggest weeks for our markets for 2025. And it all comes off the back of some presidential tweets, which is not becoming too abnormal these days, talking about the details of a strategic reserve for cryptocurrency assets. So in the past, we had been alluded to that Bitcoin would be what would make up this reserve, but more recent time there had been purported that we could see some altcoins enter the fray. And we did see Donald Trump name drop quite a few tokens outside of Bitcoin. So we also had the likes of XRP, Solana, Ethereum, and Cardano also mentioned. And Cardano, quite notably, having been quite an idle asset when compared to the others in that list, had its biggest move since 2021, where we saw an over 50% jump moments after this announcement. And really, it all comes down to this crypto summit, which is being held at the White House within the next 48 hours to hold a roundtable discussion where the agenda is not really known. So a lot of speculation is feeling off the back of what will be an outcome of this one. One of the things everyone's looking forward to is obviously understanding if there is a strategic reserve, what will it be made up of, in what quantities, and how will it be acquired? Will it just be something that is funded with assets already held on sheets, or will they go out and purchase from the market? And that's what we'll seek to understand what sort of impact this overall news will have for the broader markets as well. But there is a purported list of executives that are in attendance, confirmed and unconfirmed, but we're still waiting for some solid information on who is coming and for what reason. This also comes at a pretty interesting time where the markets are starting to show some cracks, specifically, again, going back to US politics, the US dollar really hinting on the brink of a major downtrend starting to kick off. It has in 2025 really failed to get any momentum after running up quite high into the back of 2024. And it's really thought that some very subpar results economically is driving some of this negative sentiment towards US dollar relative strength. More specifically, we've seen GDP or growth figures really fall off a cliff. There's really no other way to say it, off the back of some recent data releases from the manufacturing sector. So all of this really has played into also the narrative of the trade war continuing to brew on and pass ahead through China and Mexico and Canada. But again, there's also a lot of confusion at the same time as Trump and his executives are also calling for exemptions and pauses to certain elements of these tariffs. And we've known this administration that in the recent past, in February, having started tariffs only to pause them soon after. So it's still got us guessing as to what's the real game being played here. But at the end of the day, we can see the US dollar has lost that relative strength, which for crypto assets can be quite positive because they are paired and measured against a US dollar base. And when we look at something like Bitcoin, we can see that it has, in the last couple of days, tested some pretty key lows. Most recently, we've seen the Bollinger Band to the downside be breached, reclaimed. And then most importantly, starting out the month of March, you can see this is here where we had the Trump news on the strategic reserve. We've then, since that high, come down, swept and held above the March open. So the market is at this stage willing to hold above March open prices and has moved forward to claim the January low, where we're now looking to see, is it going to hold up here and push towards that yearly open, which is what we'll be looking to keep an eye on. But this is also the area where we could expect some sort of downside. For example, if the White House event, which got a lot of speculation fueling what's going to happen in that event, if it's quite a nothing event, that could potentially result in some selling, as well as any sort of downside or negative news that comes out a result of that White House meeting too. Just expectations and reality converging there. But that's it from us here at Swyftx. We'll be back again next week to dive into what's making news. Thank you.